Anthem is BioWare's next major release and is following one of the biggest disappointments as a company, Mass Effect Andromeda. This weekend, the demo was opened up to all players, and having spent a few hours diving into Anthem, here are my thoughts. Firstly, the game looks incredible.
So how about you focus on that? Quietly.
In Fort Tarsus, the hub world, the lighting flows through cracks as you walk through corridors. Time of day varies, and the skybox changes from sunny day to a starry night with it. The graphics are amplified by stellar art direction, giving Tarsus a tangible, lived-in feel. From market stalls to bars, all the areas are interesting, even if most of the NPCs have dialogue saying they cannot be accessed in the demo. The world is even better, from stunning cliff sides to waterfalls, even the artifacts and machinery stand out. Even with javelins, which essentially allow you to live out your Iron Man fantasies, the combat is fun, but familiar to anyone who's played similar games such as Destiny or The Division. Squads of 4 team up to take on multiple bullet sponge enemies where you shoot and use your abilities until your ultimate is ready. Some of the missions were quite challenging, requiring teamwork to combo together attacks in order to maximise damage. There are truly some incredible moments in combat, be it large-scale assaults or single-handedly wiping out many enemies in one swoop. The other pillar of gameplay is flying. From the first moment in the world, I was jumping and zooming through the air without hesitation. The biggest compliment I can give was the flying just felt natural, and surprisingly, you're playing exactly what you are, a freelancer in an Iron Man-like suit. Every time you access the world, in first person you get into the suit, only amplifying that connection. Due to this freedom of movement, Anthem offers more verticality, opening up possibilities in and out of combat. The world is also much larger than one would think at first glance because of this verticality. Flying through the sky at top speeds or exploring the dark underwater depths, the terrain and environment differ greatly from area to area, making the traversal of the world not only satisfying but encourages exploration. The major differentiating factor, at least the advertised difference between Anthem and similar games, is a better story. This is a demo, so there is little context to where in the campaign the demo occurs and any knowledge of previous interactions, but what is included in the demo is lackluster. Don't get me wrong, it is fine for the fetch quest missions the player is given, but it is not what I've heard advertised. BioWare at its best are known for complex and enthralling stories with lovable and endearing characters. In playing the demo, I got no sense that Anthem had any of that DNA. The cutscenes, well performed, but did not offer much to keep me hooked on why I should be taking on the task and the consequences of the people involved. For one, the times the player actually has input in conversations, they lack any sort of intrigue. An example of this is when first meeting Lucky Jack. The options are either saying that you preferred working alone or as a group. Again, only a demo, but I feel that it is safe to say that this has no effect on the game at all. The options are superficial and appear only to be there because the game was developed by BioWare. I know this is not Mass Effect, but it is a major step back from multiple choices in the dialogue wheel to having 2 options, neither of which really build character development or have consequences. Beyond the major gripe with the story, there were so many little bugs and annoyances. A common one that almost everyone experienced was connection issues. I would expect some for a pre-release game, but 4 times in a row trying to start Free Play Expedition, I was kicked to the title screen. Annoyed, I just gave up trying to participate in these expeditions. When in Fort Tarsus, why can't I sprint? It is a puzzling choice that there is no option to sprint or have a faster walking pace. By the end of my time with the demo, I was frustrated that I could not traverse this area faster. If you have the connection issues when attempting to start an expedition, you are returned away from the launch point of the missions, forcing the player to travel the same distance to the javelin that they just done. Other smaller bugs, such as the difficulty appearing different for the squad leader than the party, and lack of communication options outside of VoIP can be ironed out, but 2 weeks away from release is worrying. Overall, Anthem is enjoyable whilst in combat and exploring, but will only be as good as the party you play with make it. The story feels lacking and has dampened my hype for the game, but as it is BioWare and the combat is enjoyable, I will continue to follow Anthem closely on release.
unnerving.
I wonder how many beers it'll take me to forget that thing. I'm gonna go with 8.
One for each of the tyrant's legs.
No more scorpion talk, please.